also see. So they collect the money. When they spend the money, we should also see. This conversation now that the Bagamoyo project was good, we should have seen when the project was being floated. So the proposal, all of us should have seen the proposal, and all of us should have been able to evaluate the benefits of the proposal, so that nobody will tell us it's not a good proposal, because we can see the benefits. In any case, our lives are always a negotiation. Remember, even crossing a road is a negotiation. So in negotiation, you'll be told conditions. You sit down, you offer counter conditions, and finally you come to an agreement. That is how negotiations are done. You don't receive conditions and say, oh, no, impossible. Nobody will accept it. Of course, but offer your conditions, and then you can meet somewhere in the middle. That is how you negotiate. It is not just, oh, no, I'm not going to consider this. And we accepted it. We accepted it. Only now we are going to do revisions, which is not a very good way to run a government. And the other point I'm making here is, and this is important, I recall about 4 years ago, I met a chap from Norway, and on his phone, he could show me allocation of deep sea plots in Norway for oil exploration in Norway, on his phone. So I can see here allocation in Norway on my phone. That is how transparent governments need to be. But here we don't see anything. So the point I'm making here is, if you want us to be involved, then let us see everything that is happening within government. It is not okay to say this is confidential. It is not confidential. Anything that happens in the cabinet cannot be confidential. Let us see it. And then we'll say Minister Y said this, Minister X said this. And this is the way we see openness in government. We don't see that. But in developed countries, that is how they operate. I remember a case of some theft that happened when I was in office, and some people presented an invoice of 3 million as 30 million, money that we got from Sweden. And the Swedish got to know this. So they told me there is forgery here. And I sent people, and they did a proper investigation. They came with the report, and I submitted a report to the government, also to the ambassador of Sweden here. And then later the Swedes were going to publish that information to everybody. And then I got told, look, tomorrow it's going to appear in all newspapers in Sweden. And I said, how come? I thought we were negotiating this privately. I said, no, 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 no. If you communicate with me on email, that email is public property. Anybody in Sweden can see that email. If you don't want to do that, then you need to open a court case in Stockholm to argue a case why that should be private. And I said, we can't do that. And of course, that information became public in Norway, in Sweden, sorry, became public in Sweden. But here, nobody got to know about it. But that is how openness can help. And that is the case I'm arguing, that we need to open everything. But when you have confidential stuff, that is where thieving actually starts. I'll show you an example a little bit later now, and we'll see this. Here are some blatant examples. You know Gerezani, where there is bus rapid transport, Kariako, Gerezani terminal. What was there before the terminal? Do you know? Before the terminal, you had railway quarters. Class C railway quarters there. You have Class A, Class B, and Class C. I think Class C were railway quarters there. The lower classes are the ones you see in the gangs in the railway system. Those are the lowest. And then the second lowest were Class C, and then you Class B, Changombe, and then Class A, you have them in the central business district, just besides this hotel there. Those are Class A quarters. Class C quarters were sold to tenants at 6 million apiece. 6 million apiece. 6 million apiece. Even the ones in Changombe, I think, 6 million apiece. And then within 3 months, the rapid bus transport project came up, and the government required to buy those properties again. How much did they pay? 260 million apiece. 260 million apiece. And you were going to ask, what nonsense is this? But it happened. So the question here is, why did you sell government properties at 6 million while their worth was 260 million? Who made such a decision? If you ask now, you will be told the cabinet made the decision. The cabinet made the decision initially because they were the beneficiaries of disposal of government property, because they were the tenants. So how can you have a cabinet decide on a matter that they have direct interest? That will not happen anywhere else, but it happened in this country. Nobody questions that. So that for me is extremely important that we ask some questions. I'm going to show you some photographs here. What you see there is what I call family silver. Kawe, a bit of Kawe, Masaki, Sani, Regency, Ada Estate, Oyster Bay, Ocean Road, Central Business Street, and some properties in Kurasini. All these were areas where we had government residential properties, and they were sold the same way value. That was the price they sold. A property in Oyster Bay sat $1 million shillings, and now you won't get it less than $1 million. Not less than $1 million. Why did we do that? And what I'm saying here is somebody had their own interest in this, and if we have a working system, these questions need to be asked, and nobody is asking these questions. I did a paper on this, and if you don't get anybody else to present, next month I'm going to do a presentation on just disposal of government properties. You see this? This is Masaki. Yeah? You see this area here? I'm going to show you a next slide, and you're going to see that this area here is now gone. Is now gone. There, you see? This area has been cleared. This area has been cleared. Do we know about it? We don't. I did this photograph just a week ago. That old photograph this photograph was done about 10 years ago. And about a week ago I did this photograph, and you can see some of the properties in Masaki has been cleared. You know who is the occupant there? It's the army. The army occupies that corner of Masaki because there are some batteries there for defense of the city. So what happened for this part to be taken up? What process was undertaken? Nobody knows about it. I don't know. I know Mzee Kasongo lives around here. Maybe he may know. But this property is now taken up and it is now residential. So what process was undertaken? We don't know. In a proper working democracy, this information should be asked and we should be getting answers. It's not enough to say no decisions are made. How were the decisions made? Who made the decision? Who benefits from this decision? They are very important questions we need to be asking. We don't ask those questions. You see some more photographs here of the same. And this, I think, more or less the last one, acquires stupidity. And here is the definition of being stupid. Nzanyela mentioned this and says